with the proviso that the executives and the managing officers must be citizens. So we are proposing that that be liberalized along with educational institutions, higher education institutions, and some public utilities. So that's the what's on the table, but we'll limit it to, of course, to advertising, and we've invited some of the stakeholders and, of course, the names in the industries, players. We'd like to again thank you and ask the committee secretary to acknowledge the individuals present here today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. We would like to acknowledge the following resource persons present today. Ms. Anna Chua Norbert, Group Chief Culture Officer, DBB Group, Philippines. Incorporated. Ms. Catherine Gienzon, Head of Strategy, Strategic Planning, and Data Analytics from AdSpark, Incorporated. Mr. Jose Rafael Del Rosario, OIC Chief Commercial Officer, Client Success Enterprise from AdSpark. Good morning. Then we have Ms. Renali Trajano, Business Owner and Creative Director, Art Zap Studio. Good morning. Mr. Jose Policarpio Jr., President and CEO of IBC 13. Attorney Jeremy Patulot, Legal Officer, TV5. Mr. Barbie L. Atienza, President, Manila Bulletin, and representing the United Print Multimedia Group of the Philippines. Morning. Attorney Michael Ricaza, OIC Deputy Executive Director, Legal Group of the Department of Finance and Fiscal Incentives Review Board. Morning. And then we have ASEC Eufrosinio Bernabe Jr., Office of the Chief Economist from the Department of Finance and Fiscal Incentives Review Board. We have Yusek Felipe Igargo Jr., Legislative Liaison in Legal Affairs Cluster from the Department of Labor and Employment.
Good morning po, Mr. Chair. Good morning po, everybody.
Good morning, sir. We have Attorney Fermo B. Avila II, OIC Financial Analysis and Audit Division, and Company Registration and Monitoring Department from the Securities and Exchange Commission. And then with him is Attorney Cara Maria Encabo, Securities Counsel 2, Company Registration and Monitoring Department of the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, good morning. We'll go straight to the meat of the matter and get the comments of our distinguished resource persons. Can we hear from our friend, IBC 13 President, to Jimmy Policarpio? Sir, any comment on the proposal filed by Senate President, Senator Legarde and myself, and of course passed by the House of Representatives?
Good
sir?
morning, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Earlier, we have submitted our position, our comments to Attorney Ethel Hope Villaflor, and we have enumerated the position of the company. Incidentally, Mr. Chairman, Channel 13 is a sequestered company. It's a basically owned by the government, and as a president of the company, of course, our position is there's only one thing that we are against, that is the inclusion of unless provided by law. It diminishes the right of being a former employee of the Senate. It diminishes basically the right of the Senate, because a mere law, a mere bill turned into law would automatically erase the. Medyo ano ho eh. It will, as I've said, medyo mabigat ho ang inclusion ng mga yung unless provided by law. We have officially wrote and submitted, Mr. Chairman, and I think that's all we have to say, Mr. Chairman. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President Policarpio. Can we hear from Manila Bulletin and United Print Multimedia Group President, our friend also, Barbie Atienza, sir?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. With this representation, Mr. Chairman, we still need material time to be able to consult with all the members of the United Print Media Group. It's an association of major publication companies in the country, and as you would imagine, we would probably have a myriad of opinions about this. also from the Manila Bulletin. We did get the notice this week and wasn't able to discuss this. However, Mr. Chairman, I think there are also very clear pros and cons on the provisions given in the proposed resolution or proposed bill. We need to understand from the point of view of the Senate the predicament, particularly of the print media industry that we're going through now, not to exclude the challenges posed by, of course, the emergence, obvious and evident emergence of the digital media that has made changed the landscape so much. And I think this has a bearing on whether it is relevant to get into a restructure of the ownership provisions as far as the media industry is concerned. And also, we would also like to flag up, or this representation would also like to flag up, which I will sound off also to the membership, on its influence on in the editorial independence. I think those are the two primary points that we may have to be discussing further, and will incorporate into a position paper or that we will be submitting to the committee as soon as we can. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President Barbie Atienza. Can we hear from ArdZap studio owner and creative director Rena Lily Trajano? Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Yeah. So I came from a very small agency. I'm a sole proprietor. I have experiences with different investors who tried to invite me to partner with or invest, and until now I'm still 100%. It's Filipino owned. My main reason is it's not about the percentage or the ownership. I'm still welcoming these investors, but it's more on I practice. We have to have the same values, same beliefs, same vision for the company. I don't mind inviting investors and giving them more percentage of the company, mainly because it depends on our industry, our strategy in running the business. If you believe as a business owner that inviting them and giving them more power, let's say, will help the business grow and be global and will have a global impact, then I think you should go for it. So, yes, I think it is our right as business owners to have 100% freedom to give whatever percentage that we feel like it will work. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we hear from the DDB Group Philippines Group Chief Culture Officer, Anna Chua Norbert?
Good morning, Senator, and thank you for
Morning.
inviting us. We're quite concerned about the passing of this new charter change for two instances. We've already seen, as a multinational agency, we've had the franchise of DDB for the past 30 years. Although we are majority owned locally, we're 97% owned locally.
Sorry,
And
what percent?
97%.
97.
And only 3%. We have majority of the operations in terms of being able to control hiring and managing whatnot, our strategies, as what said. What we found during the COVID-19 pandemic, though, that we were actually left on our own devices, regardless of them being part of the global network. So it really didn't actually add value to us. In fact, some of our counterparts actually hindered in terms of being able to do pay cuts, which we didn't, we didn't find it valuable to our people, so we didn't have to follow because they weren't majority owners. So that's one of the things that we feel that if this law passed, it might hinder in terms of operations and therefore lose our ability to localize our strategy better. Furthermore, we feel that the money will actually go overseas rather than going to the local Filipinos, which we actually are seeing now more and more with Google and the likes of Meta. It's just that's how it is, right? The majority of our incomes are actually going to these media agencies, which are overseas, and I understand they do not pay taxes for the Filipino people. So, if those things are be able to addressed by, I guess, for now it is as it is. That's our stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we now hear from AdSpark Incorporated, Head of Strategy, Catherine Ganson, along with Mr. Ariel Tubayan and Jose Rafael Del Rosario? Yeah, whoever wishes to go ahead, please.
Okay. Just a brief background. Good morning, Mr. Chairperson. AdSpark is a company wholly owned by Globe. So we are within the 917 Ventures company, and we acknowledge the ongoing discussion about the, Philippine Constitution concerning the foreign ownership, and we believe in fostering a healthy and competitive advertising industry in the Philippines. So knowing that we are a digital advertising firm, we believe that regardless of the regulation or the structure, ownership structure, there could be also greater advances towards technological advancements and increased financing for some segments. But we are keen to, at this moment, to stay neutral and, of course, to monitor the situation and adapt to the strategies to ensure the protection of the jobs and economic success here in the Philippines within the industry. That's it for us. Thank you.
Is that for everyone? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much. Can we hear from TV5 Legal Officer Attorney Jeremy Patulot?
Hi,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, that's Jeremy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us. Your inclusive approach is being recognized. For the company's position, we believe that the expansion of the foreign ownership may be advantageous in a sense that we need to there is a what you call this capital infusion. There is a transfer of knowledge from foreigners, experts, or even their best practices, which can be helpful or elevate the innovations in the advertising industry. However, Mr. Chair, we believe that there must be this particular development may be assessed through our existing statutory requirements or existing regulatory frameworks in order for us to check if the content of the advertisement would be applicable or it can be published or given to the public consumption. That's it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Can we hear from FICTAP? This is the Federation of International Cable Television Associations of the Philippines. Legal Counsel Attorney Stanley Christopher Cabrera.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning.
Chair, and to everyone here. FICTAP is a group of, we started as a cable TV group and we expanded to include bus operators and telco operators. Of course, with the passage of the amendments to the Public Service Act, the industry is already prepared to transition to allowing foreign investment into more foreign investment into telco and other industries. First of all, we appreciate the initiative and the efforts of both houses of Congress and Senate in finding ways to attract foreign investment. We understand that foreign investors view the Philippines as having a lot of potential. And of course, we would also appreciate if they would invest in the Philippines. I share the comments of Mr. Policarpio with regards to having the provision there unless otherwise provided by law. We are cognizant of the fact that this particular methodology, or rather this phrasing, is also already present in some sections of the Constitution. At any rate, with regards to the broadcast industry, which is also affected by the advertising industry because that is primarily one of the sources of the income of broadcasting companies, we would prefer the for broadcasting industry to right now still maintain the Filipino ownership requirements, which is 100%. Primarily because the recent for the past we are welcome again. We are welcoming with regards to the foreign investment, but we are looking as well as what effect that will do in the short term. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney. Can you now hear from KBP, from the Ad Standards Council, Legal Council, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas? We have with us Attorney Rudolph Jularbal.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning, sir.
Chairperson.
Good morning
Thank you
po.
for inviting us. I represent both the Ad Standards Council and the Kapisanan ng mga broadcasters ng Pilipinas. For the Ad Standards Council, Mr. Chairperson, let me first give a short background. The Ad Standards Council is the successor of the Advertising Board of the Philippines, and it is focused on content regulation. The Philippines has a unique experience insofar as advertising content regulation is concerned. It operates under a regime of self-regulation, a very unique circumstance worldwide. In fact, I think there's only 1 or 2 other countries that have self-regulation in the advertising industry. Now, this is important in the context of the proposed amendment because the percentage ownership of Filipinos being 70% in the advertising industry, we believe has something to do with ensurance that content is aligned with Philippine culture, Philippine norms, and other national interests. However, in the Philippines, since there is a regime of self-regulation, content is regulated even before they are aired or published in platforms. Unlike other countries where the restraint is done post-airing, post-printing, post-publication, post-posting on billboards. So we believe that we will leave the decision to the advertising industry, mean to say the advertising agencies who are affected by this provision. As far as the ASC is concerned, we as long as the self-regulation regime is functional, regardless of the ownership of advertising agencies, content will be regulated effectively. We have 50 years of self-regulation in the Philippines, Your Honor, and it has been very successful. Which brings me now to the KBP. The KBP is a member of the Ad Standards Council. It represents the broadcast platform where advertising material are aired. We are a member of the ASC, and so we ensure that all materials that are aired in our member station have passed the self-regulatory regime or observance of self-regulation in the advertising industry. We do not air material which have not been approved by the ASC to ensure that content protects the consumers and protects national interest. So as far as the advertising industry is concerned, we are agnostic to whether it is there is foreign ownership or not. Just a statistical information, Your Honor. There are about 60 advertising agencies, members of the 4A's, Association of Accredited Advertising Agencies, and about 34 of them are independent, while 26, we believe, have foreign ownership. The extent of foreign ownership is, we don't have data on that, Your Honor. So because of technology also, the entry of content into the Philippines has somehow loosened. However, because of self-regulation, we still ensure that even if content is placed outside of the Philippines, for as long as they are aired in platforms in the Philippines, the Ad Standards Council regulates these materials, Your Honor. That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Jularbal. Very insightful and good context for the committee in considering the proposal. Salamat po. Now we'll hear from the government side. Also, just to clarify, no, the proposal is limited to advertising, not to mass media. Just to clarify that point. So from the government, let's hear from Yusek Egargo, representing the Department of Labor and Employment. Morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning to all resource persons present. First and foremost, the Department of Labor and Employment would like to thank the committee for inviting us once more to share our input in ongoing hearing of the Senate Subcommittee on the resolution about Houses Number 6, which seeks to amend some restrictive provisions of some restrictive economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. While we recognize that the protectionist provision in the Constitution aim to promote the competitiveness of domestic enterprise, limiting foreign ownership does not promote healthy competition in a dynamic global economy. In a fast-paced, ever-changing global economy, driven more and more by technological breakthroughs and cross-border correctness, a country's economic policies must paramountly be flexible. The Department recognizes the objectives and intent of the legislators in liberalizing the economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. We view the phrase "unless otherwise provided by law" serves as a compromised measure to affirmatively commit the country to essential principles and objectives of economic growth, job creation, and opportunities, higher productivity, and appropriately regulate open compensation while easing foreign ownership restriction. Finally, Mr. Chair, we recommend that consideration should be given to the impact of granting wider latitude in foreign equity in the advertising industry. We understand the limitation provided for by the Constitution, which is due to the effects of advertising to the mentality of the consumers, the Filipino consumers. We respectfully submit to the wisdom of the legislator on this matter. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Salamat, Yusek. Can we hear from Department of Finance, Assistant Secretary Eufrosino Bernabe Jr.? Morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much for inviting us on this hearing. We officially submitted our position to the Senate President and copy furnished the Office of the Chairperson and the sponsors of the bill. But basically, we fully support the lifting of foreign ownership in certain sectors, including the advertising sector, primarily to adapt to the current and economic realities of the sector, Mr. Chair. That's all, sir.
ASEC Bernabe. Can we hear from the FIRB, Fiscal Incentives Review Board? We have OIC Deputy Executive Director Attorney Michael Ricaza. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you for this opportunity. For context, the FIRB, or the Fiscal Incentives Review Board, is the cabinet-level interagency board, which is empowered under the CREATE Act to grant and administer the fiscal incentives, which have been streamlined under the CREATE Act. The FIRB is chaired by the Secretary of Finance and staffed by the National Tax Research Center. Insofar as the FIRB Secretariat is concerned, we usually defer to the policy direction of the Department of Finance, but we essentially also agree and support the proposed amendments to the provisions, which are seemingly decades-old restrictive economic provisions enshrined in the 1987 Constitution. We feel like the amendments would ease the doing business and the influx of investments into the country, and we feel like the The proposed amendments will give Congress more flexibility in liberalizing or further liberalizing the control, ownership, and administration of public utilities and the other affected sectors. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney. Can we hear from the SEC, OIC Financial Analysis and Audit Division, Attorney Fermo Avila, the second, with Attorney Cara Maria Encabo and Attorney Ferdino Logi Santiago. Yeah. Morning po.
This is Ferdino Santiago from the SEC. Good morning, Mr. Chair. On behalf of Chairperson Aquino and the SEC, we would like to thank Mr. Chair and the committee for the opportunity to provide comments and suggestions on the subject measure. The SEC supports the initiatives of the Congress to amend the Constitution to keep up with the increasingly globalized age, while adequately protecting the general policy of Filipino First that guides the economic provisions of the Constitution. Further, the Commission supports any legislative measure that seeks to improve the country's economy. We note, however, that the constitutional amendments or revisions proposed involve issues that can be competently addressed by constitutional authorities or members of the Congress in consultation with pertinent groups, agencies, and people having extensive experience and knowledge on the subject matters, such as the Department of Trade.
As it will provide better signaling of how open the Philippine economy is towards foreign investments. If we look at the 2020 ranking of the Philippines, it's the third most restrictive out of 85 countries in the OECD's Foreign Direct Investment Regulatory Restrictive Index. So that's in 2020. We have already made a lot of reforms since then, like the PSA, like the FIA, and other laws that we have passed. And this amendment is in line with that strategy and that endeavor. We also would like to commend the language precisely because it says unless provided by law. That means the default is already provided in the Constitution. However, there are exemptions to the rule in certain specific cases. And we also recognize the several issues, the several concerns that was raised in Congress and in this hallowed hall, the Senate, where there might be disruptions in education. There might be several issues when we provide foreign investors to educate our young people. There are also several concerns that how we provide values in our advertising. That's all recognized. However, that can be addressed as we construct or provide the limitations and all of the necessary regulations in the specific laws that we can provide after the Constitution. So with that, Mr. Chair, that's our more or less our position on the matter.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Recto. So that everyone around the table has gotten a chance to give their positions. Maybe any other addendums or additional information, please. We'll open the floor to additional discussion if you wish. Anybody? If not, I'd like to throw this question perhaps, and it's free for whoever to answer. I guess the assumption underlying these proposals is that there will be people interested in coming in. So maybe we'll address it to you. Meron ba talagang interesado pumasok sa advertising industry? Like, are there interested parties? And what is the size of their potential investment? And what are you mentioned pros and cons, people from the industry. And some are firm specific, meaning the ability to be more autonomous, make autonomous decisions. But that I don't think that will be affected by the entry of foreign participants. It's only affected if you allow the entry of foreign participants, meaning if you keep your firm locally predominantly majority owned, then you're not subject to those constraints. But yeah, is there a threat of jobs local? I think that's that to get to the point. No? Is there a threat of local jobs? Is there a substantial threat to local industries? Or Because my impression is Philippine creatives are probably among the best in the world. So whatever, yeah, whatever happens, because we see Filipino companies being hired in the Netherlands, in Malaysia, Filipino executives all over the world, diba? So the work is speaks for itself. So yun ang impression ko, no? But please educate me because you're the stakeholders in the industry, kayo yung maapektuhan dito. So yun ang concern ko, yung the pros and cons in weighing them. It's never a black and white decision when it comes to policy, no? So those are the things we have to weigh going forward. So I just like a freewheeling discussion on this, and we respect all positions here at the table. Yeah. So anybody, please.
If I may take
Yes,
this
yes,
one,
yes,
sir.
please.
As a member of 4As and part of the board of 4As, sir, thank you for mentioning that you are giving us the free will to actually have the authority to make a decision, and ASC will support the changes moving forward. Majority of our members are independent, and they do enjoy the autonomies of being owned, solely owned. Not only do they share the revenue to their own individual, and not having to have that money go somewhere else or in a foreign company. As a practitioner for this and a member of 4As, we've seen all sorts of advertising agencies already in the country, whether it's international or local, they're already here. So it really doesn't change much for us. Thank you.
That's a good point. Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah. President Policarpio.
Mr. Chairman, my only concern is at a time like this, we're in midst of a media battle, especially concerning the West Philippine Sea and the South Philippine Sea. The entry of foreign entities in our country could enhance the interest of the foreign interests to the detriment of local interests of the Filipino people by itself. So I think there should be some sort of a key that will some control in order so as not to jeopardize our position. Much more so, the social media are very strong right now, and it's a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, that there are some social media advocating support for China in the derogatory or any position they have in the West Philippine Sea. Medyo binebenta ng some locals, binebenta na yung Pilipinas sa China. Yun lang ang concern. That should be stopped. That should be considered. That should be controlled. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, that's a good point, no? Yung national interest natin must be protected. I agree totally. Pero tama rin si Mr. Recto, sabi niya there's the level of specific legislation. Perhaps not at the constitutional level, but at the statutory level. Doon natin gagamitin yung iprotektahan yung national interests natin. I think that's what you meant, no, Mr. Recto, by setting the general constitutional policy, but protecting your specific national interests at the legislative level. That's my understanding of your comments earlier. So tama, very good. Unfortunately, we cannot regulate social media, pero tama rin si President Policarpio, may mga talagang nagpapagamit. They use their platform, but that's free speech, no? We have to respect that. So anything else? Magagaling talaga mga advertisers. They summed up their position in 30 seconds, no? Yeah, this will be our earliest. Our earliest. We're almost done in less than an hour. So I thank the advertisers. Yeah, Barbie.
Yeah, I just like to support the concern Mr. Jimmy Policarpio expressed. Like I said earlier, one of the things that I personally would like have some reservations about opening it up for foreign investments is editorial independence. While I would support, and always UPMG has always supported the position of ASC in regulating content. However, the reality bites that advertisers have the money, and who has the money has a lot of clout. And so therefore, we've seen this happen many, many times over, where an advertiser would have influence over the content. We're not talking about ownership on the mass media, but advertising. But still, it's a golden rule. Who has the gold makes the rules. When they tell us to be mum about certain news that are detrimental to them, to a certain extent, there is always a sense of compulsion to submit. So I think along this line, while we'd like to liberate the entry of foreign investors, if there are opportunities there, I think it's going to be good for the economy, but I think it should be also reinforced with some regulatory provisions to safeguard the editorial independence. That's what it.
Yeah, thank you for telling us what the reality is, no, Barbie. Attorney Jularwa, you're raising your hand, yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Just something to add. The technology developments in technology has changed the landscape insofar as job creation is concerned. In fact, Filipino talent work for foreign companies online, and the reverse is also true. Foreign talents are contributors to content, advertising content online. So technology has really changed the landscape as compared to what it was in 1987. Just to add to what my friend Barbie added, the media outlets, broadcast, print, online, etc., are the gatekeepers of content. And that is where the Ad Standards Council comes in, because UPMG, 4As, and all stakeholders in the industry are members of the ASC. And we have agreed to abide by a code, the Advertising Standards Code, which was agreed upon by all members. And so we ensure that all advertising content that are published, posted, displayed, aired in our member platforms have passed the standards of the Ad Standards Council. So the Philippines really is unique insofar as advertising content is concerned, Your Honor. And that is a tribute to the advertising industry and the self-regulatory aspect of the industry. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Jularbal. Yeah, anything else before we wrap up? Yeah, Attorney.
Good morning again, sir. This is just a reaction to statements because there was a statement that with regards to the international relations with our neighbors, also the statement that if the one who has the money, the resources tend to dominate the industry, or and then also Attorney Lorval from the KBP mentioned that there is a change in the technology. I'm confident with the ads board, with our colleagues here, that they can police their ranks, whether or not there are foreign investors there. But we mentioned reality. We observed that, for example, there are ads, a lot of ads in social media, which is a very strong platform. Ads for like online casinos, online Chinese casinos, or even our content providers saying, I don't know if you're familiar, sir, but they keep on mentioning certain betting companies, sorry. I'm not sure if these sort of ads or sort of methodologies actually pass to certain agencies. I think if we were concerned about the influence of foreign influences, we'd have to look at that as well. But again, I'm not sure if it even passes to the traditional ad agencies, or if there is even an ad agency for that.
Gaming.
Yeah, gaming.
Maybe you can ask Attorney Jularbal. Dumadaan ba yung online ads sa inyo? Di na yata, no?
If the advertiser is a member of PANA, the answer is yes. Or if the content is created by a member of 4As, the answer is yes. Or they are aired in member stations or in member platforms, the answer is yes. However, because of technology, advertising content can be created outside of the Philippines, placed in platforms that are shown in the Philippines but not a member platform. So the World Wide Web has really changed the landscape, Your Honor.
So karamihan hindi na rin dumadaan. I think that's the answer to, or that's the response to what you're saying. Oh. Like YouTube, I don't think YouTube goes through KBP anymore. Hindi na.
Not YouTube, Your Honor, but if the
some of the advertisers, I guess if it's a local company,
yes, Your
that's
Honor.
what you're saying. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I see that a lot because when
It's a
you
bit-
watch sports on online, for instance. A lot of the betting, palagay ko, hindi dumadaan sa atin yun. Okay, so if there are any other, we'll open the floor up for any other statements before we wrap up. Yeah. If none, okay. Well, thank you very much for a very brief but productive session. So, salamat. We appreciate it. The other sessions took about 6 hours, 5 hours. Yeah. So, thank you very much. I think the ability to communicate in a brief amount of time is appreciated. Thank you very much, Your Honors. I would like to suspend the subcommittee and announce that we have an out-of-town hearing in Baguio on Friday, if anyone is interested to attend. Yeah. Thank you.